Okay, welcome everybody. Thanks so much for joining me in this live stream. I really do appreciate it. All right, today we're talking about food stamps, EBT, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, the SNAP program, whatever you want to call it. There's about 42.2 million people across the country, low-income, fixed-income beneficiaries, seniors, people with disabilities that rely on these monthly benefits every single month. Now, I want to point out some things that are changing, big changes, okay? So if you haven't recognized the theme this far, so far this year, a lot of things are changing. You recognize this just as much as I do. And SNAP benefits, no exception to the rule, okay? So let's talk through the details on this. An urgent memo was released by USDA, okay? That's basically the federal entity that oversees the SNAP program. Pretty important, okay? Anyway, an urgent message was sent out, urgent memo was sent out, and all agencies across the entire country. Remember, SNAP benefits are basically federally funded, state administered, right? So very important, and all these states need to start complying with the new rule. Very, very important for all beneficiaries, and it's only a matter of days away from right now, okay? All right, anyway, let's talk through the details about this. Okay, and again, I want to make this very clear. We're only, well, as of right now anyway, we're only talking about SNAP benefits, food stamps, EBT, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. In just a little while here, I will get into the comment section, and I'll do some Q&A, some answers to questions, answers to your questions, I should say. But for now, we're just talking about the food stamp program. Okay, where do I even start on this? All right, so anyway, here's what happened. So here we are still in early October right now as I host this live stream, okay? In case you're watching the replay on this, I just want to give this context. A couple days ago, the SNAP program did change because of the new fiscal year. Remember, it goes into effect as of October 1st. That's the beginning of the new fiscal year. So some new changes were implemented just a few days ago as the beginning of the month. Now, in a few weeks here, November 1st, another major change coming in, and that's exactly what this urgent memo highlights that was sent out by USDA to all states and basically the facilitators, as in the states, that facilitate these programs and administer these benefits to the 42.2 million low-income, fixed-income people all across the country. Okay, let's rewind a couple months and talk about the big piece of legislation that happened over the summer and was signed into law by the president on the 4th of July. What is it? The OBBB, okay? That huge multi-trillion-dollar reconciliation bill. We talked about all the details of that many times leading up to it in May and June, early July, and even July after it was signed into law. We talked about many of the different details around it. One of the major provisions within it that we talked about, and I want to highlight it here because the change comes in just a few weeks here, is the change for the work requirements. Very, very important. I'm going to break down the details of who needs to fulfill the new work requirement, the new age range of the people that need to fulfill the work requirement. I'll tell you this much. It's gone up significantly, the age range. So making people that are in their mid-60s work in order to get their SNAP benefit. Okay, there's other definition changes on what is considered to be a dependent, okay? Dependent, the age range on that has fallen significantly. What that means is that people that have, say, like a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old, that's no longer considered dependent anymore, whereas the old rule said those are dependents. Not sure about you. Last time I checked, somebody's still a dependent until they turn 18, right? I mean, that's kind of legally how it looks, right? Not anymore. The definition in regards to SNAP has changed, and the new rules go into effect in a matter of just weeks here, November 1st, okay? All right, so we've got a lot to discuss here in this video. Let's jump through these one at a time here. Okay, we're going to just kind of go through this in order here, no particular order, just one at a time. What are the important details you need to know? Okay, number one, the new age range. The old rule was basically between the ages of 18 and 59. That was the old rule. Here's the new rule, 18 to 65, okay, up to 65. If somebody is 65, you're good. You do not need to fulfill the work requirement. But essentially, it's 18 through 64 or up to the age of 65, okay? So if you are 65 or over, which, by the way, quick little side note, I'll give you a little trivia question in case I quiz you at some point in the future. I'll tell you this much. 46.1% of you on this channel that watch these videos, so 46.1% are aged 65 and over. That means that 53.9% of you watching these videos right here on this channel are under the age of 65. Okay, it's a lot of people, nearly half of you. Okay, I looked at the demographics of this channel in the back end of YouTube just the other day. Yes, 46.1% of you 65 and over, 53.9% of you are under the age of 65. Okay, anyway, my point behind that is this pertains to a lot of people, and it also pertains to a lot of you in this community that watch these videos and that have food stamps, SNAP benefits, have an EBT card. Okay, so the new work requirement age, again, to reiterate and to recap what I just said a second ago, the new age range goes into effect that states must start enforcing according to this urgent memo that was sent out by the USDA. The new age range for work requirements is 18 through the age of 64 up to the age of 65. If you're 65 or over, you're good. You do not need to fulfill the work requirement. But if you're anywhere between the ages of 18 through 64, you need to fulfill the work requirement, okay? Unless, hang tight, because here's the thing. I get a lot of questions about this all the time, and some people reach out and say, but wait, I'm 62, I'm 63, I'm 64, I'm 59, I'm 39, I'm 48, whatever it is. Hang tight. I got some more information on that, okay? So just don't get too excited yet. My dad used to say that to me all the time when I'd get like, irritated right away. Oh, calm down. Don't get excited now. That was his way of saying, calm your body, okay? That was my dad used to say to me. Okay, anyway, hang tight on that. We'll come back to that just in a second here. Okay, so that's the new age range. Now, what is the new definition for a dependent? A really good one here. This may not pertain to a ton of you here in this community, but it certainly will pertain to some of you, and I need you to know this information. The old rule, basically anybody under the age of 18, 17 and under was considered a dependent, okay? This would make somebody exempt from the work requirement, okay? However, this has now changed. It has come down significantly from basically 17 and under to now it is 13 and under as far as what is considered as a dependent, okay? So it went from 17 and under, now it's down at 13 and under. My point being is with that, if you have a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old, or over in your household, those are no longer considered dependents, no longer with this new rule. Again, going into effect as of November 1st, where states will be enforcing this. What do I mean by that? Well, let's just say that you're somebody that maybe is not working. Maybe you're able-bodied and you have, again, I'm just making up a scenario. I'm not saying that this is your situation. I'm just making up a scenario to make a point here. Let's just say that you're somebody, maybe you might be working a little bit, but maybe not fulfilling the full hourly requirements. Maybe you have, say, a 14-year-old or a 17-year-old, something like that, and you've been exempt this whole time. I'm just going to tell you this much. If you're able-bodied, you're no longer exempt as of November 1st, okay? Because of the age range of your dependent kids, you're no longer exempt. However, let me give you a contrasting example here. Let's just say, for example, you're working maybe a little bit or maybe not. Again, it doesn't matter. I'm just using this as an example. But you have, let's just say, a 7-year-old. You're still exempt because of the age of your dependent. Does that make sense? Okay. A lot of moving parts here. I totally get it. If you're confused by this, don't feel bad, okay? I'm here for you. I'm going to do what I can to help you understand all this. And in just a few minutes here, I will jump into the comment section. We'll talk for a while. I'll answer your questions. I'll do whatever I can to provide as much value as I can to understand all this for you, okay? I want you to make sure that you're getting your benefit as well as, taking advantage of this program and not getting surprised, as in a letter saying, sorry, you're not getting benefits anymore because, these 17 different reasons, okay? Okay, now that's that. That's the dependent new rule on the dependents. Now, you might be wondering, what is the work requirement? Well, it's 20 hours per week, 80 hours per month. That's what it needs to be. 80 hours per month, which averages out to obviously 20 hours per week. Now, does this mean you need to go out and get a job, work 9 to 5, work part-time, whatever it happens to be? No, not necessarily. There's actually multiple different options that you would have here. Number one would be just a traditional job, obviously working 20 hours a week, whatever it happens to be. That is an option. There's other options as well. Education training, as in like schooling of some kind. Skill training, that's another option as well. Volunteering also makes the cut. So you could literally, if you don't want to work, you could literally volunteer and that'd be fine too. Okay, that also accomplishes the 20-hour requirement. So there's many different options here, but just recognize they're going to want you to do something in this situation. Okay, so that's that. Now, who would be exempt from this? Here's the key, and this is going to answer a lot of questions right here, right now from a lot of you in this community. I'm guessing there's some down below in the comment section, in the chat box already. I will answer those right here. I get this question all the time. Anytime that I talk about this, I get a lot of people that ask me this. But wait, I have a disability. I'm 62. Do I need to do this? But wait, I'm, 48, 44, 42, 39, 28. Again, fill in the blank with whatever age. It literally doesn't matter. 64. I have a disability. Do I need to fulfill the work requirement? The answer across the board is, if you have a disability, the answer is no, you do not need to fulfill the work requirement. Why? Okay, I've said this before in other videos. I'm going to say it again really quickly. The way that I'm about to say this right here in just a second may sound offensive. I'm not trying to offend anybody, okay? I'm just trying to give you the facts so it's easy to understand, okay? Let's look at the definition of what this is all about. Able-bodied adults without dependents are the ones who need to fulfill the work requirement, okay? Able-bodied adults without dependents. What does that mean? Well, let's think of it this way. Does somebody who has a disability, are they able-bodied according to the definition? The answer is no, okay? And again, I know that sounds kind of harsh. I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. I'm just being real with you right here, right now, okay? This is a good thing. For once, it's nice to have a disability. I'm just saying, okay? I'm right there with you. I'm blind, right? So I fall into this category as well. For once, like the first time in my life, it's actually like, hey, it's not so bad being blind after all, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not fun. I'm just telling you that much. But for once, it actually like benefits people, okay? So if you have a disability, you do not need to fulfill the work requirement whatsoever, because a person with a disability is not able-bodied by the definition. Does that make sense? So if you are disabled any age, it does not matter your age. You could be 18, you could be 64, it does not matter, or anywhere in between. You do not need to fulfill the work requirement. Amazing, right? That's awesome, okay? So that's going to take a whole lot of people out from worrying about this, basically right from the start here. Now, another big question I get is this. I'm 65, I'm 66, I'm 72, I'm 81, I'm 69. Again, fill in the blank, 65 or over. Do I need to fulfill the work requirement? Answer is no. You do not need to fulfill the work requirement. If you are over 65 or over, you do not need to fulfill the work requirement, okay? Reason being is because the new rule states 18 through 64 needs to fulfill the work requirements if they are able-bodied and if they do not have a dependent, if that makes sense, okay? So there you go. That's what that's all about. So 65 or over do not need to fulfill the work requirement. Under the age of 65 with a disability do not need to fulfill the work requirement. Now, there's some other exemptions to the rule as well. Somebody within the age range of 18 through 64 who is able-bodied but is pregnant, exempt, do not need to do it, okay? Exempt, you do not need to do that, as in fulfill the work requirement. Okay, there are some other exemptions as well, but this encompasses virtually everybody. Well, I shouldn't say everybody. This encompasses the vast majority of people out there, and these are the new rules, okay? So now you might be thinking, forget that. I'm not going out and working 20 hours a week so I can get my little, $24 or $102 or $117 SNAP benefit. Forget it. I'm not going out to work 20 hours a week for that. And there's going to be some people that do that. In fact, I said this months and months and months ago, is that my speculation, and again, I could be totally wrong with this, my speculation on this is that they're purposely raising the age range on this, not necessarily to get people who are 60, 62, 64, 63, whatever, 58, whatever. My speculation is not to get these individuals to necessarily enter into the workforce, but essentially to say, forget it. I'm not working 20 hours a week so that I can get my little $2,400, $150 a month from SNAP. Most people in this situation would say, forget that. I'm not doing it. I'm just going to forfeit my benefit. And then, that's just what happens. So I would not be shocked one bit that over the coming months here, if we see multiple millions of people literally losing their SNAP benefit and just completely being removed from the program because, number one, they don't fulfill the work requirement. Okay, that's an option too. They just don't fulfill the work requirement. Therefore, they just get, essentially kicked off the program. Or somebody voluntarily basically just says, I'm not playing this game. I'm not going to do this work requirement. I'm just not doing it. I will voluntarily lose my benefit in order to not be forced into working some, weird job, whatever. And again, it could be anything, or volunteering just to get a little SNAP benefit. Okay. So my anticipation is, and based on the numbers that we saw over the summer, from a few months ago, the estimations that I saw out there across the board is that over the next few years, we could see between 3 and 4 million people basically removed off of the SNAP rolls because of these new rules. So remember, at the beginning of this live stream, I said what? There's roughly 42.2 million people that are currently enrolled in the SNAP program. Food stamps, EBT, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, whatever you want to call it, roughly 42.2 million people. Within the next couple of years, we could easily see that number drop down to somewhere between about 38 to 39 million people, easily, just because of these new rules. Okay, so there you go. That's just what they're talking about. Okay. Now, you might be thinking as well, I'm able-bodied. I'm not going to play this game. I'm not going to, go out and get a job. I don't have a dependent. What's the situation there? This person would still be eligible, depending on a variety of factors, by the way. Okay. They take into consideration your household size, your income, all kinds of factors, assuming the person is eligible based on their income, their household size, information like that. Okay. So assuming that they're eligible, that individual would only be eligible to receive SNAP benefits for 3 months out of every 3-year period of time. That's the rule on somebody who is able-bodied, who does not have dependents, and says, I'm not doing the work thing. That person could get SNAP for only 3 months out of every 3 years. That's it. Okay. So they're changing the rules on this program. Okay. Anyway, if you're just joining right now, quick little super fast recap here, which is, urgent memo was sent out by USDA to basically all state agencies just the other day that sent out basically this memo that says, as of November 1st, all of the new rules encompassed within the OBBB that was signed into law over the summer on 4th of July, to be exact, that new rule that was signed into law, all of that goes into effect. The work requirements, the new exemptions, the dependent definitions, all of that goes into effect November 1st. And that's only, 3 weeks away from right now? Yeah, it's only 3 weeks away from right now. So we have a little bit of time here, but that's that. Now, you want me to throw a little cherry on top of this sucker? I will. Okay. Obviously, right here, right now, as I host this live stream, it's Tuesday, October 7th, right here, right now. Okay. We are still within a government shutdown as we speak. Senators voted again yesterday. It failed. In fact, they may have even voted twice. They voted for sure once. They may have voted a second time. Anyway, they voted yesterday, failed, still in a shutdown. Okay. In the live stream that I hosted yesterday, I said I anticipate this shutdown to last at least until the end of next week. Okay. Not good. I'm not happy about that because I want the data to come out of Social Security next week on Wednesday, the 15th, as you heard me talk about in the video from this morning. October 15th is the date in which we're supposed to be getting about a dozen announcements out of Social Security, as well as that's also the date in which, yes, Medicare annual enrollment also begins October 15th. It's Wednesday of next week. A lot of things going on that day, which, by the way, quick little side note, if I can digress for just a second here. See the phone number right there. Seriously, thousands and thousands of you. In fact, I just posted a community post like an hour ago. I popped up a sheet that I typed up just in the last 1 month. I typed up all the names, their monthly savings and their annualized savings. I put that on a community post just like an hour ago here on the channel. It's nuts. Just from that handful of people that I highlighted in that document who called that number right there in the last month to month and a half or so. That's it. in the last 1 to 1.5 months or so. It's a handful of maybe like how many names are on there? 15 names or so. They have collectively saved nearly $32,000. Would that help your life a little bit right now? 32 grand across, maybe a dozen or 15 people, whatever the names are. They're saving big money. Check out that document. It is nuts. So anyway, by the way, quick little hint here. I will continue to update that document every week between now and the end of the year. Every week, I'm going to continue to update that document. For those of you that call that number right here on your screen, free Medicare help, you can read it for yourself right there. Now that we're in October, they can look through all the plans available for 2026. They can give you free reviews to make sure that you're properly covered. They can find other plans to make sure that you're getting the best coverages for what you personally need for the upcoming year. Anyway, phone number's right there. I'm serving it to you on a silver platter. Take advantage of that. By the way, my dad just texted me this morning. He said, have you seen the price of silver? And I'm like, no, what is it? And he says $48 an ounce. My point being is that I wish I had a little silver, a silver platter, right? I'd deliver it to you right here, silver platter. How amazing would that be, right? Anyway, my point is though, take advantage of that. After you talk to them, drop a comment on any video, does not matter. Use the word chapter. That's the keyword that I search for. Tell me how much you're saving after you talk to them, and I'll continue to update that document. I will highlight your name, your monthly savings, and your annualized savings. Let's get that list super long. And I'll continue to update the dollar amount as well as far as how much money people are saving because of calling them right there. Again, from a small handful of people that I highlighted in that document earlier, $32,000. Actually, I'm going to be fair with you. It's a little less than $32,000. To be exact, it is $31,860 is the exact dollar amount that small group of people has saved. $31,860. That's awesome. That's super, super cool. I'm very excited about that. That's money that is staying in the pockets of you, those people here in this community, versus in the pockets of insurance providers. Who needs more money right now? An insurance provider or those of you in the community? That's a no-brainer, right? You do. You need the money. Anyway, drop your comments, use the word chapter, call them, tell me how much you save, and I'll add you to the leaderboard as far as how much we're saving collectively as a community right here across the board. Absolutely incredible. By the way, quick little hint here. I'm going to get that, like my objective over the next handful of months here between now and the end of the year is to get that dollar amount into the hundreds of millions of dollars of savings. I know, it's exciting, right? Hundreds of millions of dollars for those of you here in this community. All right, anyway. So point being is that some major changes coming here, okay? When it comes down to the SNAP program, and again, next week with the government shutdown, everything like this, okay? Sorry, I got off on a little rant there. But what I was trying to get at is that we're still in a government shutdown right here, right now, as we speak, right? We all recognize this. If this government shutdown continues until the end of October and maybe even into November, which would seem honestly very odd. I don't think it's going to last that long. I think this thing lasts probably another week and a half, roughly, probably till the end of next week, maybe the beginning of the following week. So maybe we could be in this for probably 2 more weeks. In my estimation, obviously it could end in 3 minutes. Who knows? Maybe they're voting right now as we speak. Maybe they'll vote again later today. My point is, this could end at any given point, but based on what I'm seeing, based on the evidence that I have, based on what I'm recognizing as far as the real reason behind this government shutdown, I anticipate we're in this for probably another 10 to 14 days, I would say. That's my guess. I hope not, because I really want those announcements to come out on the 15th, and I am just getting all fired up to bring you tons of data as far as what's going to be changing for Social Security. A lot of things that are happening, okay? But anyway, what I mean to say by that is that if we are still in a government shutdown by early November, we could see major delays to the distribution of SNAP benefits, not your Social Security, not the benefits administered by Social Security, but rather SNAP, your food stamp benefit. Those could be dramatically impacted and delayed because of this government shutdown if it continues to persist until November, okay? That's going to be nasty. Let's not worry about that right now. We've still got about 3 weeks to go. But I'm just saying, if we're still in a shutdown at the end of October, when we're all getting all dressed up for Halloween and we're still in a shutdown, we've got some things to talk about at that point. It's going to get nasty. It's going to get real nasty real fast, okay? I'm just saying, don't lose sleep over it now. Don't worry about it now. Let's give it some time. But if that's the case, we've got a lot of bones to pick, and it's going to get bad. Okay. All right. Anyway, I think I encompassed everything that I wanted to talk about here in this live stream so far. Okay. If you're joining live right now, first off, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all of you. Drop your comments, your questions, your concerns down below. Let me know what you got. I'm going to jump into the comments section. I have my phone sitting right here. Give me a minute. It's going to take me a minute to get into the chat, and then I'll do my best to answer your questions. I may not have the answers for everything. I will do my very, very best to answer your specific questions. Okay. Okay. This is always the slow part. I apologize. So drop your comments down below. I'll give shout outs. I'll answer questions, whatever you got for me. Here we go. Okay, slow, sorry. It's not my phone, it's me, I'm slow. Okay, here we go. By the way, we're here live right now. I'm going to be here for, I don't know how much longer, but I'll certainly be here for a while. Seriously, if you're on Medicare, call them right now. Seriously, how cool would this be? Call them right now, this phone number right here. If you're on Medicare, call them right now. Within 5, 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes, I'll probably be here for at least another 20 minutes for sure. Literally, whip out your phone right now, call them, see what else they can find for you as far as a better plan, and come back and drop your comment down below and say, I just called, literally just got off the phone with them, and they're saving me X dollars per month or whatever it happens to be. Do that. It'd be awesome. Okay. We can do this in real time right here, right now. How cool would that be? Right. Okay. And then by the way, I'll add your savings and stuff like that to the leaderboard, and I'll keep updating that every single week and keep you updated with a running total on how much this community is saving. We're just under 32 grand as of right now in the last month that people have saved. Incredible. Nancy Silva, hey, shout out to you. She said, are we getting food stamps next month? That's a really good question. So Nancy, I just covered that. I anticipate I'm seeing your message. You wrote it probably before I mentioned that, but let's not worry about that yet. Okay. I'm not dismissing your concerns, Nancy, but it's still too early to say. Okay. The reason I say that is if the government shutdown continues to persist into November, they could be delayed. It all comes down to how much money is sitting in the contingency fund for SNAP benefits. Okay. About a year ago, it was sitting at about $6 billion. About $6 billion was sitting in the was it contingency? Yeah, contingency fund. I think there's a different word that I'm trying to use right now. I'm drawing a blank on the word that I want to use. Anyway, let's hold tight on that for a second. Okay. As of right now, you should be all fine. But if we're still in a government shutdown, benefits could easily be delayed significantly. Blessed daily. I see your comment there. Good question. So you're saying, do you know which 3 months you would get the food stamps in the event that you're able-bodied, you do not have dependents, and you're not fulfilling the work requirement? In that instance, you're wondering, in what 3 months of the year will you get your SNAP benefit? I think it really depends on when somebody applies, when they get approved for their benefit, and they basically just come back and say, here, you're going to get benefits for 3 months, and then after that, you're kind of cut off for the next 3 years. Okay, so I don't think it's any particular 3-month period of time. It's just basically when applications are submitted, when somebody is awarded those benefits, and then when the benefits start arriving to them, basically count 3 months out, and that's they'll make that very clear for the person as well in that situation. I hope that answers your question. Blessed daily. Yep. Oopsie. Yeah, Eula Brown. Yeah, you're very welcome. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. I saw your comments. I see your comments on most of the videos. Eula, yeah. I try to respond to as many as I can. I responded to, I think, a couple yesterday, but yeah, thank you so much for being here. Nice to see you as always. Yeah, Dennis Kessler. Good question. Dennis is also asking, very similar to what Nancy Sylvia was also asking. So Dennis Kessler is asking, will we still be getting food stamps next month if we're still within a shutdown? Again, let's not get too worried about that right now. It's still very early October right now. As of right now, we're all good. But if this shutdown continues to persist into November, there could easily be a delay to the SNAP program, easily to the distribution of money. It really comes down to how much money do they have set aside as a contingency plan, like a secondary plan, like, whoops, we're still in a shutdown. Is there money available to be distributed to the beneficiary? Okay. And would that money be released to the beneficiaries as well? That's what I was saying a minute ago. Like, it could get to be a nasty situation. If we're still in a shutdown in early November, it could get nasty real fast, right? That's what I'm saying. I hope it doesn't last that long. Not a good situation. Yep. Yeah. Diana Hayden. Yeah, I see your message there. I see your message. Yeah. I mean, you're basically explaining exactly the situation. And again, I'm not going to say that I agree or disagree. I'm just saying that, like, yeah, you're right with your statement there. Okay. So anyway, I'm here to advocate for everybody. I'm not here to say, like, oh, do this stuff or that or whatever. I'm literally just here to help people out. Okay. But yeah, Diana Hayden, you're totally right on with that. Yeah, exactly. Kirby. No. Angela Kirby is saying, will the amount that I get from disability go down in a few months when I turn 65? The answer is, Angela, no, nada. Here's the cool part. Actually, you know what? The answer is still no. The answer is still no, but I'm very curious. Are you getting disability as in SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance Benefits, or are you getting SSI, Supplemental Security Income? Okay. The answer is still no. Your benefits will not go down. You should be fine. Again, I don't know your exact situation, so I can't say, like, oh, Angela, this is your exact answer, stuff like that. But in general terms, you're fine. Okay. But if you're getting SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance Benefits, not to be mistaken with SSI, the really cool thing about SSDI that most people don't recognize, SSDI benefits are paid out as if you claimed your Social Security at your full retirement age, your retirement benefit at your full retirement age. That's how those benefits are paid out. So you could be, again, I know you mentioned you're going to be turning 65 here soon, but you could literally be, 28, 30, 32, or whatever the age is, and you could have, be getting SSDI benefits, and those benefits are paid out as if that person was 67 getting their full retirement age benefit on retirement benefits. That's kind of cool, right? They're paid out at 100%. Yeah. By the way, Angela, I know you mentioned you're turning 65. If you're on SSDI, I anticipate you're also on Medicare. Please, this applies to you as well. Angela, I got the phone number for you right here on the screen. I'm not sure what your disability is, but if you're blind like me, I know maybe you can't see it, and I'm right there with you. But down below at the top of the chat, there is a phone number linked there as well. Otherwise, I can just tell you, 844-731-4987. Again, 844-731-4987. But anyway, if you're on SSDI, as in Social Security Disability, you're probably also on Medicare. Again, please do yourself a favor and make sure that you are properly covered. Yes, very, very important as well. Exactly. Yeah, William Heacock is also mentioning, yep, they're talking about no EBT next month if the government is shut down. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It could get nasty, right? So again, I just really want to emphasize, let's not get too concerned yet. I know it's very easy to look out to November. It's not that far away as of right now, like 3 weeks away, and be like, oh man, what am I going to do? This is so scary, right? I agree. It could be, but again, there's a lot of things that could happen in the next 3 weeks. I don't anticipate, I'm being fair with you, I do not think we're going to be in a government shutdown in 3 weeks from now. When we hit November, I really do not think we will be in a government shutdown. I do think we will still be in a government shutdown in the next 10 to 14 days. I do think that is true. Reason is, they want to get, this is my opinion. Okay, let me throw my opinion out really fast. And again, for whatever my opinion's worth, who really cares? It's worth nothing. I'm just saying this much based on what I'm seeing. The point of the government shutdown is they do not want to release economic data. economic data is pretty ugly right now. They don't want to release it purposely. It's strategic. This government shutdown is 100% strategic so that they do not need to release economic data. I've been pounding the table on this, okay? But my point being is that next week on, what is it, the 15th? Yeah, the 15th of next week, we get the inflation data. It's going to be bad. They want to pass that data point. They want to keep it shut down until beyond that to basically say, you didn't get to release it. Hey, BLS, nobody's there. Nobody's working at BLS right now. They're all laid off, right? They're all furloughed. But point being is that they want to get beyond the release of that inflation data before they open the government back up so they don't have to release it. Does that kind of make sense? Same thing with the jobs data from last week on last Friday. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's my opinion based on what I'm seeing, what I'm reading, and what I'm observing is they want to avoid this bad economic data from being released. So we're all flying blind, okay? Yeah, that's the situation here. Yep. Okay, William Heacock in Ohio. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, thanks for the clarification there. I see your messages, thank you. Oops. Linda Provencher. Hello, Linda. So nice to see you. Hope you're having a nice day. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you. Thanks, Linda. Yeah, Linda Harris. Linda Harris, I see you there. You're talking about receiving SSI and you're wondering if you're going to be getting your food stamp, stuff like that. Again, I think I've covered that multiple times here so far. As of right now, you're still good for the month of October. Let's see what November brings. Okay, I'll keep you posted. Don't worry. I'm going to be right here by your side every single day. I will help guide you in any way that I can, answer your questions, give you that reassurance that you need. Whatever it is, I'll be here for you. Yep, Kathy Vargas, I see you there as well. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, you say you get $19 a month from food stamps, which is interesting because the minimum benefit is $24 now. So, I mean, you could call your local office, but I don't know if it's really worth it over $5. I mean, you could, but you could. Yeah, the minimum is $24 now, so you should be getting at least $24. Exactly. Exactly. Linda Provencher. Exactly. Thank you so much for your help. Yep. I see Linda is helping out in the comment section here. This is awesome. Yeah. Linda is also suggesting exactly 100% true. If you have a disability, you do not need to worry about the age requirement. You do not need to worry about the work requirement. Nothing. If you have a disability, you've got, well, okay. I was going to say you have nothing to worry about. Okay. Sorry. I don't mean it like, you got a disability, you got nothing to worry about. What I'm saying is that if you have a disability, when it comes down to the work requirement, you do not have to fulfill it whatsoever. You're fine. Yep. The Deadly Whisper, is that what it is? I like the name. It's kind of creepy, right? Sorry, I don't mean to like offend you. That's not. I'm just saying, like, for Halloween, that's like a pretty cool name, the Deadly Whisper, right? Yeah, that's awesome. I like the name. Yeah, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Nice. Michael LaChapelle, is that what it is? Michael, I see you there. 68 with a disability. You're all good? Yeah, you're good in a variety of reasons. Yep, your age is above the threshold and the disability. You're doubled up, Michael. Yeah, you're totally fine on this one. Yeah, you've got this. Yep, 100%, Michael. Yep, Susan Ryan, thanks for being here. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a nice day. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Kathy Vargas, 61 and permanently disabled. You're good. Okay, nothing to worry about. Disabled, any age, doesn't matter age. Anybody with a disability of any age is totally fine on this. Exempt. Yes. Exactly. Yeah, Rebecca Davis, exactly. Yeah, so Rebecca Davis is reaching out saying, I heard yesterday that if the government shutdown persists until November 1st, that we may not be getting our food stamps in November, pretty much. Okay. It's not a total guarantee though. That's the thing as well, is that I've seen some sources that say you'll definitely not get your food stamps in November if we're still shut down. That's actually not totally true. It really comes down to how much money is set aside as a contingency plan, like a secondary plan in the event of a government shutdown like this. Like I said, about a year ago, they had $6 billion set aside in the event of this situation. Now, remember, as of right now, they currently send out about $112-ish billion a year from SNAP benefits. That's about, what is that, $9 billion a month or so, give or take a little bit. Yeah, a little bit less than 9, probably $8.5 billion a month or so. So if they still have that $6 billion set aside, they'd have maybe about 1 month-ish worth of SNAP benefits set aside, basically in their coffers in the event of this, extending. So they can maybe release that. Again, let's see how this whole next month, the next couple weeks here transpires. Yes. Rick Mack, you're asking, you said people with disabilities, people that are disabled, they're exempt. Is that still the case? It is. Yep, absolutely. So Rick Mack, I hope that answers your question. Absolutely. Yes, that is still absolutely the case. Somebody with a disability, somebody, on disability benefits, something like that. Yeah, you're good. Regardless of age, you're fine. Exactly. Nisha Jones. And this is kind of what I anticipated seeing. Realistically, Nisha Jones is saying, I'm not working for my stamps. Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, again, that's, in my opinion, it seems like that is kind of the intention, is that they're trying to literally just kind of do this to just get people like Nisha Jones to say, F that. I'm not working. I'm not working 20 hours a week, 80 hours a month for $100 worth of food stamps. It's not worth my time, right? Exactly. That's kind of the situation. So Nisha Jones is kind of basically saying what I've been anticipating, which is kind of like, it's just literally getting to people to basically kind of volunteer, essentially, to say, I'm done. I'm not doing this. It's not something I'm going to do for just a little tiny bit of food stamps. Kind of makes sense? Yeah. Yep. Nisha Jones is 64. Yeah. So, yeah, here's another thing as well. And again, I guess I didn't think of this until I just saw Nisha Jones' comment right here. So Nisha Jones says she's 64. Let's just say that Nisha Jones is able-bodied. She does not have a dependent within the age range that would make her exempt. She's 64, so technically she would need to fulfill the work requirement if she does not have an exemption. I guess this is my opinion on this. Let's just say that Nisha Jones, and again, I don't know Nisha Jones' exact situation, but let's just say that she's like, I'm not doing all this, and she loses her benefit. Okay, well, that's really frustrating, and that's really unfortunate. But let's just say that Nisha Jones let's just say she turns 65 in December, right? Again, I don't know when your birthday is, Nisha. I'm just making this up for an example. Who says she can't go back and say, hey, I'm 65 now. Can I reapply? I think the answer is yes, absolutely. Why can't you, right? You're now 65. Your age would now say you're exempt because of your age then, right? So is that going to make sense? I guess if I were in Nisha's position and if she loses her benefit, I'd literally wait until you're 65, go back and be like, yo, I'm 65 now. Come on. You know what I mean? I'm exempt now because I'm 65. Make sense? Yeah. Yeah, Quentin Hurd is saying food stamps are the best thing that have happened to me because you're homeless. Very, very, like, vitally important, right? Yeah. It's a very important situation. So yeah, Quentin, thank you so much for watching and for being here. I will certainly keep you updated with everything going on right now. Yeah, Quentin, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Eula Brown. Lori Spinks, I see you there as well. Thanks for reaching out. Appreciate you. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, I am way up in the chat right now. So I'm going to go way back down to the bottom. So if you're leaving comments now and you're like, where is he looking around? I was way up on the chat. I'm going back down to the bottom now, and we'll start at the bottom and work our way back up. Okay. Exactly. Yeah, Ellen Newth. Ellen Newth is saying, I'd like to be 35 again. I'm right there with you, Ellen Newth. Yeah, exactly. Ellen Newth is basically just saying, I really enjoy to be 35 again. My, situation be a lot different. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. If only, who knows? Maybe there'll be a day where we can just like reverse the clock somehow. How cool would that be, right? That'd be awesome. Yeah, Sonia Fox, I see you there in Indiana. It looks like you're getting maybe $174 per month. Yeah, maybe you're getting 174, but the maximum, the new maximum household size for a household of one individual now. Again, I don't know your household size, but is now 298 across the country. Again, that's just for the maximum household size of one individual. It's 546 for a household of two. But yeah, again, depending on your situation, maybe that's what you're qualified to receive is the 174. But yeah, thanks, Sonia. Appreciate you reaching out. Thank you for being here. Nice to see you, by the way. Nice. James Lara, nice to have you here. Hope you're having a nice day, James. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. Nice. James, you're funny. Yeah. James has been retired for 28 years. Yeah. Awesome. Diana Hagan. Yep. Diana Hagan, I see your message there. Been disabled for about 10 years. Prior to that, working a ton. Looks like you were working a ton, multiple jobs at a time. Like, wow, the hustle, right? Yes. Wow. Yep, exactly. Yeah, Michael, I see your comment there. Exactly. You've been getting SNAP for about 6 years or so. You said that they've raised the age requirement by 10 years. Yeah, honestly, they actually raised it more than that. They've actually raised it by 15 years in the last, I could be off on my timeline on this. Actually, no, let me think about it for a second. Okay. I can tell you this. Don't know if I talked about this, over the last couple of years here as they changed it. But get this, the old age range on this just 2 years ago. Get this, the old age range 2 years ago in 2023. Okay, it was 18 to 49. That was the old age range, 18 to 49. Now it is 18 to 64. Nuts. They've raised it by 15 years. So in I think it was October 1st. Again, my timelines might be off a little bit here, but in October 1st of 2023, they raised it from 18 to 49 up to 18 to 54. And then what was it again? October 1st of 2024. Is that right? 2024? No. I think I'm off a little bit. September. Either way, over the course of the last 2 years, they raised it by 5 years, another 5 years, another 5 years, and now again, another 5 years. Is that right? Or am I off a little bit there? 49 to 54 to 59. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Sorry. I was off a little bit. 2023, they raised it from 18 to 49 to 18 to 54. Last year, they raised it from 18 to 54 to 18 to 59. And now they raised it from 18 to 59 to 18 to 64. Yeah, that's what they did. So yes, I talked about all that, by the way, over the last couple years. The videos are still here on the channel. You could literally find them if you wanted to. I don't know what they're titled. They're, 3,000 videos ago or something like that. But yeah. Donna Gilbert is reaching out saying, hey, I'm on Social Security disability. Do you know, are we going to be getting help on Social Security disability, right? That's what Donna Gilbert is asking. As of right now, let's just see what happens. But as far as your monthly benefit increasing substantially anytime soon, not anytime soon, not right now anyway. Again, last week we heard the president talk about or float the idea of between $1,000 and $2,000 in the form of a distribution or dividend. In other words, a rebate / stimulus check. The president talked about that last week. We don't know a whole lot more data on that at the moment. I will certainly keep you posted as we get more information. But as far as like a big old raise to your disability payments, not at the moment. Yeah, not right now. But again, anything could change at any given moment. I'm not saying for sure, but I'm also not saying that, they're not going to do anything. We just have to continue to wait and see. It's been a very interesting year. I think we can all probably agree with that. Nice. Legend Nebula. Nice to see you from Tennessee. Hope you're having a nice Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for joining, Legend. Yeah, love to sing. I see your comment there saying that you are disabled and you can't work 15 hours per week, because of the disability, things like that. Yeah. If you're just joining, by the way, just want to throw this out there. When it comes down to SNAP benefits, food stamps, one of the exemptions is having a disability. So if you do have a disability and you're on food stamps, you don't need to worry about the work requirement. You're good in that sense. So yeah, I totally understand what you're saying here. Nice. Angela Brooks checking in. Hey, Angela, nice to see you as always. I always try to respond to your comments as I see them come in, but yeah, thank you, Angela. Nice to have you here. Happy afternoon and Tuesday. Yeah, Linda Provencher, I see you there as well. Exactly. Yeah, James Swear, I think it is. You said that you were kicked off of your benefit and now you're turning 65. I think you said in March you're turning 65. Yeah, you were kicked off, I think, in March, and maybe you're turning 65 soon. That'd be my anticipation. I would say for sure when you turn 65, if you were kicked off of SNAP benefits because maybe you fell into the category where you did not have an exemption, and maybe they came back and said, well, you're going to forfeit your benefit now. If that's the case, when you turn 65, James, I would for sure 100% reapply for those benefits again, because now your age, 65 and over, would qualify you as being exempt from all these new rules, if that makes sense. Okay, so to answer your question, James, I would say for sure. Obviously, I don't know the rest of your situation. I don't know your income. I don't know your household size. And honestly, it's none of my business. So please, James, don't say that information. It's not my business. I shouldn't know that. But I'm saying based on what you've said so far, I would 100% for sure reapply when you turn 65, whenever that happens to be. Okay. By the way, James, I'm not sure when you turn 65. I'm not sure of your situation, but please make sure that you are enrolling in Medicare. You have a limited window for your initial enrollment as well. Very, very important, so that you don't go any months not covered, okay? Got the phone number here on the screen for you. They will absolutely help you completely for free. They will be your best guide, your best alibi, and they will certainly help you find the best plan for your situation. Give them a call. I mean, thousands of people, like multiple thousands of people have already called them. It's absolutely incredible. So, yep. Okay, Diana Hagan is saying, I have to do my annual review for EBT. Will you hear back with the government shutdown? You turned it in on time. Whether you do hear back in a timely manner or you don't, I would anticipate, this would be my anticipation. I'm not sure if you're going to hear back in time or not, but I would anticipate, in the event of this government shutdown that we're dealing with right now, everything that was basically in place before the shutdown is basically just frozen in place, right? It's kind of just like frozen, like everybody stop what they're doing. And then we'll just kind of freeze everything. And when this thing opens back up, they'll kind of just examine files and, the people's annual reviews and things like that. once things are back in place. Does that kind of make sense? So I would anticipate just give it time, see what happens. And, you know, historically, they're not exactly the fastest at processing these things in the first place anyway. But yeah. Nice. Legend Nebula, I see you there again. Thank you for reaching out. Nice to see you. Yeah, Dennis Kessler, sounds like you're maybe in Georgia. Yeah, food stamp caseworkers, again, for new applications, for renewals, things like that. Is that possibly why they're so slow? Yeah, for sure. Exactly, right? Because they have to manually review these situations. Yeah, again, it can be a very, very slow process. Exactly. Okay. Old-fashioned Southern cooking book. Is that the name? I think that's your name. That's cool. I like the name. Yeah, exactly. Sounds like you maybe have a disability and you're having a sigh of relief here that you're not going to be bothered with when it comes down to this. Yeah, exactly. If that's your question, yeah, I hope that answers it for you. Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Pamela Short, I see your comment there. Thank you for reaching out. Yeah, I appreciate that story you said there about yourself. That's very, I just appreciate that. Yeah, Pamela, I'm like right there with you. And I think a lot of people, you probably, you probably encompass a lot of people when you say that, right? It's just like, you know, really wish I could do something like that, but this is kind of my situation. Exactly. Thank you, Pamela, for reaching out. Exactly. Diana Hagan, I see your comments there. Exactly. James, I see your comment there as well. Thank you. Yep. Kenny Lynch, I see you there as well. Thank you for watching. Nice to see you, Kenny Lynch. Thanks for being here. Yeah, exactly. Sonia Fox, I see that there. Yeah, sounds like things took a turn for you right around the age of 30. Yeah, right before that. Yeah, Sonia, thank you for reaching out. I appreciate that. And again, I know that a lot of you are divulging, you know, personal information here. I really appreciate you trusting me. Seriously. Okay, I'm here to help. I'm here to do what I can. We're all here together. Okay. The only difference between like us is like literally I just picked up a camera one day and started talking into it, which is super random because actually in real life, I am very, very, very like painfully introverted, which is very weird, right? If you ever came across me in person, you'd be like, what is wrong with you? Like, do you not speak or something? Because I like in real life, I like rarely talk. It's very weird. But yeah, Sonia, thank you for your information. I really appreciate that. And again, I just really appreciate all of you for being here and again trusting me with all this information. Obviously want to do what I can for all of you here in this community. It's been my commitment for years, and again I'm maintaining that any way that I possibly can. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, old-fashioned Southern cooking book. I like your name. That's awesome, right? Anyway, yeah. So, quick little recap. Just fast recap here as far as what we're talking about. But by the way, if you're just joining right now, if you want to see what I talked about earlier, because you might be thinking, "What are you doing? You're talking about, you know, answering questions, whatever." You're right. Maybe the first like 15 or so minutes of this live stream, I did talk about the content that I wanted to cover, and then we got into the comment section. I've been answering questions ever since then. But quick little recap here. I'm not going to get into nearly as much detail as I did at the beginning of this video. I would just recommend if you're just jumping on now, let me do a quick little recap. And then what I would say, go back and just watch like the first 10 or 15 minutes of this live stream. That's really honestly all you need to watch. Like the first 15-ish minutes, that should cover it. You definitely don't need to watch the whole part of being in the comment section, answering questions. I just like to do that to help out in any way that I can. Okay, quick little recap. An urgent memo that was sent out by USDA to basically all states is suggesting as of November 1st, the new rules around SNAP benefits will be going into effect, fully into effect. What do I mean by that? Over the summer, within the OBBB, the big multi-trillion-dollar reconciliation bill, which was signed into law by the president on the 4th of July, within that, they have all kinds of changes to the SNAP program. Let me rattle some of them off really quickly. And again, earlier in this live stream, I did get into these in great detail. Again, just check out the first like 10, 15 minutes of this video. You can see it all there. But a quick little recap, some of the changes. Number one, they're changing the age range in which people need to fulfill the work requirements, okay? So the old rule was 18 through the age of 59. The new rule going into effect as of November 1st is 18 to 64. 18 through 64 is the new age range in which somebody needs to fulfill the work requirement if they are able-bodied adults without dependents, okay? Otherwise known as ABAWD, able-bodied adult without dependent. In other words, what that really means is that an able-bodied adult without a dependent is an adult between the ages of 18 through 64 who is not disabled and who does not have a dependent under the age of 14, so 13 or under, okay? That's what that would qualify for. Somebody with a disability is exempt. Somebody between those age ranges of 18 to 64 who is pregnant is exempt, okay? So that's what that's all about. Somebody between the ages of 18 through 64 that has a dependent, by the way, the definition of a dependent has also changed. I'll get into that here in just a second. But somebody between the ages of 18 and 64 with a dependent in their household or what I should say is under the age of 14, so 13 and under, is exempt from the work requirement, okay? The new work requirement, or I guess the work requirement stayed the same, but the eligibility has changed, is this work requirement, 80 hours per month, 20 hours per week, which includes working, volunteering, skill training, education training, things like this. All of this would qualify, okay, as far as fulfilling the work requirement. Now, let me talk about super fast here, the new dependent age requirement, or I said age range on that. The old rule, anybody under the age of 18, so 17 and under was the old rule. The new rule, again, being enforced as November 1st, is anybody under the age of 14. So 13 and under is considered a dependent. Somebody who's 14 and over is no longer considered a dependent in the eyes of the SNAP food stamp program. Make sense? Okay. That's a quick little recap. There's a whole lot more to it than that. But just want to give that to you really quickly there. Okay. Anyway, let's leave it at that for now. I hope this helps you. Again, drop your comments down below. Let me know if you're watching the replay on this, if you're just jumping on right now. Drop some comments down below in the chat, in the comment section, whatever it happens to be. Let me know what else I can do to clarify all this and help you understand what's going on here. I get it. It can be very, very confusing. But yeah, I will do what I can. Okay, I'm just doing something super fast. Okay. Anyway, I hope that helps you, okay? So, quick little side note as well. Next week, Medicare annual enrollment opens up, okay? Big stuff. There's 70 million people out there across the whole country that are on Medicare. If you're on Medicare, please do yourself a huge favor. There's this phone number I got for you on the screen right here. If you're somebody that is visually impaired, if you're blind like me, and you want to, because I'm pointing out a number on the screen, you might be thinking, dude, can't see it, I'm blind, visually impaired, whatever. Down below in the description, at the top of the comment section, at the top of the chat box, I will put the phone number for you there where your, voiceover or talkback, whatever it happens to be, will read it to you. But anyway, I have a phone number here on the screen for you. If you're on Medicare, call them, please. Let them help you find the best plan for you and your personal situation for the upcoming year here. Please make sure that you are properly covered. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these plans are changing. And a lot of people are going to be blindsided and literally dropped from their plans. Got to make sure that you're properly protected. Anyway, after you talk to them, drop a comment down below on any video. Use the word chapter. Let me know how it goes. How much did you save? and I'll give you a shout out and feature you, as well as I will add your name and your savings to the leaderboard, which I will continue to update between now and the end of the year. We're already at about $32,000 of savings just in the last 1 month from about 12 to 15 people. That's it. 32 grand of savings so far. That number is going to get massively bigger. All right, anyway, enjoy your day. Let me know what else I can do for you. Drop some comments down below. Corey's here to help me out.